Wow, that was a quick one. No countdown or anything. Welcome back to Mik'd. Good evening. Today is Monday, January 2nd. Hopefully y'all had a wonderful New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Hopefully y'all had y'all's
full of dye
2023 goals set moving into the new year. That was a quick get me into the. You didn't even give me like the intro. You got me, caught me off guard. It's okay.
No,
I can lock it in.
2023. I'm gonna wear some of these. It's my fault. We have lost the countdown because of it gets flagged every time. So
the countdown gets flagged.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because of the song. So we gotta.
But the song isn't the song from somebody that gave it to us?
Yeah, but it's like gets flagged from like Indonesia, and I don't know. Like you can either dispute or mute it, but I'm trying to make the money, coach. So I'm not trying.
Can we dispute it?
I don't know if it's worth the fight, so I just cut.
I'd like to have the countdown. So
I would like it too. So
and we got the music from somebody else,
right?
Like that we know that gave us the music.
I feel like we're getting swindled, and I don't want to fight Afghan. Like,
okay.
Never forget.
Okay, well, let's get to it. Let's get to the show. We'll figure that out on the back end. It's not on the show conversation, but
that's why you hopped in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you hopped me in. I thought there was the countdown. I jumped right into this thing, but great start to 2023. Obviously, LSU. If you just finished watching the game, they finished the season with 10 wins. They are 10-4. They absolutely boat raced Purdue. Both quarterbacks played extremely well. That's a conversation that's going to be very hotly debated throughout the course of the offseason. I don't think that it's should be as debated as people think it is, and I don't think it's as much of a controversy as people think it may be. We will get into that in the show. We're going to run through these Heineken headlines. Outside of the LSU game, there were a bunch of other bowl games that were being played. Tulane, huge win for the Green Wave. Congratulations to Tulane. Green Wave, they have been irrelevant in football for a really long time. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm not trying to throw shade at them. They went from 2-12 or 2-11, 2-10 maybe, I don't know, 2-10 last year to 11-2 this year with a Cotton Bowl win against USC. What?
You said 2-12. I'm sitting here thinking.
I know. I was.
We'll be counting the spring game.
Yeah, I know. I was like, damn, a lot of games I added there, but they went from worst to first in their conference, similar to what LSU did last year. I don't think LSU was worst in the West. Maybe were they? Was LSU the worst team in the West? Last team in the West last year. LSU went from the last team in the West, number one team in the West this year. Tulane did the same thing. They got to the Cotton Bowl and beat USC and Heisman winner Caleb Williams. The game was electric. USC had the opportunity to really take the game away and really kind of blow it out, and they didn't. And boy, they played no defense, huh? Tulane's running back, who's very good, had 17 rushes for 205 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Really think about that.
Before the last drive of the game, because the LSU game ended, there's about 3 minutes left in the LSU game before Quad's pick six. I missed that, which is a shame. But I already hit my same game parlay, which I got confused when I was telling you. I had the minus 14.5 that obviously hit on its own, and then I went 14.5 and over in the same game parlay, but I had the under separately because I did way long ago. I did it a long time ago, and I was like,
you must have been tired when you put these bets in.
Where was I on this group?
But it was great because I got the parlay.
Real
right?
sleepy.
I got the same game parlay, which was what I really wanted, so it was good. I lost the under, which I'm good with. Anyway, moved to the Tulane game, and before that last drive, Tulane's quarterback had 3 completions. Right? He had 5 on that last game-winning drive to make him 8 of 17 for the game, right? Threw 2 touchdown passes. Tight end made a great play at the end of the game to win the game, and great game. Unbelievable game.
Somehow they didn't call a huge targeting call.
They reviewed it and said it was. I've seen targeting left for way less than that. I've seen a forearm to the face mask on accident called targeting.
They tried to say this year they wanted to really change it from they really wanted it to be like crown of the helmet to the helmet. I'm like,
well, both guys.
If we're really gonna go that far, that's basically called almost like paralyzing yourself.
Yeah, both guys almost.
If I
put
my face to your helmet, that's about as crown of the helmet as you can.
Yeah, well, they didn't call it. Hopefully, both of them are all right. There's a guy from Purdue that went down. They say he's fine. All movement and extremities. If you're watching the game, Hot Mike caught Sage Ryan on that play, dropped something on him, dropped a little phrase on him. And
What's the name of that song?
Then the guy the guy ended up being dead on the field for a little bit, and then
The Lil Wayne one, or
had to get carted off. He was fine. He's healthy. He's good. Thankfully, he's not hurt. But yeah, it was just Hot Mike out.
Jay-Z?
Hot mics are real.
Hot mics are real.
Y'all wouldn't know.
Through the course of the I hope not. Through the course.
I hope so.
Through the course of the weekend, I think we can all agree this is probably the best college football playoff combined games since they've had it. Right? I don't know how many. This is the first time I think that both semifinal games were decided by one possession. Which is, usually you get one good game and then one blowout. This one, both of them were really good games. How Georgia came back, I have no idea. They go back and Stetson Bennett's still doing some things and getting there and doing really well. And now they're in the finals. TCU's running. TCU's real, I think. I mean, Georgia helped them out a lot.
I don't think they're that real. But what I do think is they got a chance simply because I think we finally figured out, if you can throw it, you got a chance against Georgia. You got a chance against Georgia.
That's what our guy came on and told us about before the LSU Georgia game. If you could throw the ball and you could test their secondary, you have a shot, right? So TCU goes, they scored 2 defensive touchdowns. Michigan has another chance to get one. That was a touchdown. The deep ball over the middle of the field, the guy catch it. That's a touchdown. They said it wasn't down at the inch-yard line. They try to quarterback they try to give it to the fullback.
I was like, wait,
fumbles the ball, and then so that's basically you give TCU 14 points on defense, and then you basically just give them another ball.
But TCU did dominate that game. They did dominate that.
Right, and Michigan.
I don't think they ever.
Early on,
I think they led the entire game. I don't think they were ever down.
They did. I left because I had to go to a wedding.
Another one?
No, it was Jordy's. Jordy's wedding.
It's true. Congrats to Jordy. Yeah.
Let's give a shout out
I forgot about that.
Congratulations on his honeymoon right now.
Forgot about Jay.
Yeah, we were there. You were there.
I was there.
We were there. It was in New Orleans.
I said another one because you seem to have
another one.
35 of them a year.
I got another one this weekend.
Oh, really?
I got one this weekend, one next weekend. Then yours is next weekend. No, 2 weekends.
Two, three.
I got one this week, one next weekend.
Where are we?
Yours.
Where are we going?
To that with the
The thing.
Yeah.
The thing and the place.
God damn
Woo!
With the hotel.
I ain't bringing
the
no
pool,
shirts,
the water
baby.
In the sand. No shirts, but
F45.
umbrella and some.
I know
bucket
where all.
hats,
I already scouted. I know where all the shade is, baby. I don't need it. I just know where the shades are.
But TCU's in the finals. TCU is opening line for the national championship game is Georgia's favored by 13. That's what the line opened up at. It's a lot of points. Georgia's obviously been there. They're going for their second in a row. It's hard to repeat. I think I haven't bet TCU. I've been against TCU all year. I think I'm going to go with them this year. I think I'm going to take the 13. I think I'm going to take the 13. That's a lot of points. Last thing we need to talk about before we get to really what we saw in the LSU Purdue game is there is a enormous college football is now we have one game left. College football is basically over with. You have the biggest game left of the year, right? College football national championship was on Monday. It's the NFL's time to shine. They always shine, but now it's really only NFL, right? You are looking at the 2022-2023 fantasy football champion. I won it. I had to win my last game of the season to get into the playoffs.
You're all part of it, winner. Yep. Welcome to the champ circle.
Yep, thank you. It's very nice to be there. Very nice to be there.
We had a good team, man.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It was
it didn't fall our way.
Sometimes it's not the best team, it's the hottest team. My team got hot. I did the Ole Miss thing where I was last team in, ended up winning the whole thing. But
we were dragging Mikey during the entire draft.
I know y'all were mad at me, but I had a great team.
Did you make trades?
Nope. Did make one trade, and my best player was on IR. Cooper Kupp. That's just very good coaching. Very good.
You had some guys step up.
Very good GMing.
Yeah.
But to the NFL, Jesus, man. Jeez. Big game tonight. Big football game tonight.
Woo!
Bills
Large.
at Bengals. Two of the best young quarterbacks in the league. Obviously, Joe Burrow. We're partial to the Joe Burrow. I love Josh Allen as
Not
well.
partial to it, dude. The guy,
he's the guy. I mean, I'm obviously yeah, right. Like, I'm gonna pick him over anybody, but he's earned it. Right? He's very good. That game is tonight. Bills are favored by 2.5. I already took Bengals money line straight up. I just said fuck it, I'm doing it. I took it. You gonna go with me? No, you're probably not. You're gonna tease it or something. It's only 2.5.
I already have it in a teaser, yeah.
Of course you do. But big game. We're gonna talk about that.
LSU money line, LSU to tease, LSU minus 30. It was just we're all together. Now everybody get in the house.
Okay. I had it 4-0 in the NFL games yesterday. I was bad in
Which
college.
one?
I was bad on the semifinal week night, but I was better yesterday. I won 4-0. Last game, this is what I did. Last game I said I went Steelers money line because I was like, you know what? They're playing better. No way Mike Tomlin the way Mike Tomlin was coaching, what he's doing, I was like, I'm doing this because I believe in Mike Tomlin just not having a losing record. It's just not going to happen. They were down 13-3, and I said, you know what? I still think that I'm going to win. Double down. Boom, won. Love that.
God, they just played nasty football.
That's all they do. They make you play to their level of football.
They played the whole game with like 6 linemen. I ain't seen that in so long.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But let's give the people what they want. And what people want right now is to talk about and give our live reaction on the LSU Purdue result. Now, the result was very, very good. 63-7. Was never close.
Say that again.
63, like 6-3 dash 7 is what it says on the ESPN app as what the final score of the LSU.
Sidebar of this too. You got to realize too. This isn't a hey, you just play the schedule. Like the matchmakers put this game together and say, hey, this will be a good ball game. We should put these together.
Should have played it in Atlanta.
Now, I will say this. Now, LSU is missing their whole defensive line basically.
And Purdue's missing a quarterback.
Right, and Purdue's missing their quarterback and the receiver. Like both teams are shorthanded, right? Now the playmakers on offense for LSU outside of Kayshawn, which he obviously had elected to go to the draft, and he wanted everybody to know that he was working out today during the game.
Right.
So he was training, he's getting ready. Good for you. I hope you do very well. I hope you get ready. But the other guys that were
no other time in the day.
The other guys that had opted out from LSU were tweeting about the game as the game was going on because they're obviously watching the game and supporting their teammates.
Right.
But to each their own. You have to get ready. Worry about your career. Hope you do well. But both teams are shorthanded. LSU had a lot of their playmakers on offense play. They played both quarterbacks. I was not expecting. We didn't know what was going to happen. How healthy is Jaden Daniels? You said if Jaden Daniels is healthy, it's his start. He's going to get the guy. I believe we all agree with that. I didn't know how much they were going to let Nussmeier play. I thought it was a good idea and a good smart move by Brian Kelly to say, you know what, I'm going to let both guys play. Jaden got the start. They had one bad drive. He said, okay, boom. Touchdown drive. Nuss goes touchdown drive. Jaden comes back, touchdown drive. Then Jaden goes touchdown drive.
I'm wondering how much, too, like, when they popped in the film on these guys all week and they said, hey, listen, I'm not trying to, like, downplay our opponent. We will beat them very handily if we play well.
Yeah.
And that they, from that point on just said, hey, look, we're going to let both of these guys play because we're going to win this game.
And look, Nuss didn't take a lot of gambles. I don't think he had to, right?
Threw one pick late in the game.
Yeah, it was and that wasn't a gamble, it was a bad throw. It
wasn't a gamble, but it was a
right. It was an underthrow fade route. He didn't throw it really high enough. He didn't give.
You don't really see guys like under, and it's weird too because of his arm
trajectory
talent.
wasn't
like it
high.
just it just was never really there.
He kind of came out flat. I don't know what the deal was. He didn't give. I think it was Malik was in the end zone. I don't think he gave him a shot to go and get it. That was the only mistake. Other than that, they both looked really sharp. They put the ball on the money. A couple deep balls. He threw one deep down to Malik that he kind of missed over the middle of the field. Nussmeier did.
Should have been caught.
And then Malik should have caught that one. And then Jaden threw one deep over the middle, down the right side to Brian Thomas. And it looked like Brian Thomas lost it in the sun because he came out and he did the whole "you can't see me" thing in my face, and it was like
happens.
Because it happens.
It's real.
It's real. It's a real thing.
It happens more than you think in domes.
Oh, with lights, I know.
No, with lights and like you lose it in the like you don't see it in the city.
Yeah.
Like
I get that from baseball. It
happens more than you think,
baseball because I lost the ball. But the team looked really good. Looked really sharp. The running backs obviously.
Day game.
Huh?
That was a day game. When you knocked the ball over the fence.
That's not what I was saying.
Huh?
I almost got hit in the head. So I lost the ball in the dome, and then he brings up my moment in the NBA.
Lloyd was trying to get
when I knocked the ball over the fence. That was very.
Poke.
You stretched for that one. You stretched for the poke right there, but it's okay. The team looked very sharp, right? The team looked like a very well-coached team. It looked like a team that, hey, we had all this time. We're going to go out there. We are more athletic. We are more physical. We are the better team. We're going to go out there and assert our dominance, and they did that. Both quarterbacks played well. The running backs played really well. Malik had an unbelievable game. I think he had 9 catches for 163 yards. Got over the 1,000-yard mark, which we kind of projected even him to do over the course of the last couple of games. His last 4 games to end the season are fucking outrageous. Before this game, he had the last 3 games he had 363 yards receiving. This game he had 169 yards. So the last 4 games he had over 500 yards receiving to end the season, which is a great way to go into the offseason, to go into his money year, which is his draft year next year. He's going to be the number 1 guy. I would imagine Brian Thomas is going to be the number 2 receiver on the other side. Kyron Lacey's going to come back. You're going to have a bunch of guys, plus you're going to bring Aaron Anderson in. The group of receivers that you're going to have are very good.
3 freshmen.
5 stars.
2 or 3? 2 or 3?
They're 2 5-star receivers, and who's the third big receiver?
Kyle Parker.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So you
got guys that can fill in.
Yeah, like the group of receivers they're going to be very talented. Obviously, the quarterbacks are very talented. The running backs coming in, look, Derek Davis obviously is not transferring. He looked really good. Ran the ball really hard towards the end of the game.
Caught a body.
Yeah, they looked good defensively. They did exactly what they needed to. Purdue was not able to get going. They were not able to kind of get in a rhythm. You had the guys who announced that they were coming back. Major Burns played well.
Yeah.
Greg Brooks played well, had an interception. You had all these guys. Makai Wingo played well. All these guys that say, hey, I'm coming back. Bernard Converse had a great – you had these guys who say, hey, I'm going to be leaders of the defense, show why they're going to be leaders of the defense. And I think that bodes well going into the offseason. Did you see anything in the game that you would like to discuss that I didn't hit on? Or do you want to, highlight some of the stuff that I talked about? Just really give your point of view on it, please.
I watched the team for the most part, play a pretty complete ball game. There was one asset or facet of the game that I wasn't in love with, but that's kind of been a recurring theme all year. But it didn't. Obviously, it didn't bite him in this game. But the team looked good, man. To be off for that long, pretty much a month. This is a huge recruiting time. This could easily be lost where coaches are traveling a lot. Game plan can kind of be lost in the fray for a game that at the end of the day is not huge, doesn't matter. It was cool to see that they approached it obviously like the game mattered. They've obviously been recruiting their ass off. That hasn't slowed down any. So it was cool. It was good to see them come out and do what they needed to do in that game.
Do you think that the hold on?
How about Malik Neighbors throwing the stick route on the receiver?
Goodness.
Yeah.
JD5 or Malik Neighbors, who you got?
He threw the ball between the safety and the corner, just stuck it right in there.
But how much do you on a real note, how much do you think that Notre Dame winning played into Brian Kelly's mind of 9-3 versus we're gonna get 10 wins?
No,
maybe, but I think he already knew we can't end this season with 3 straight.
Yeah.
I think that was already a thought,
especially against a team that you're better than.
Yeah.
All right, bringing Drew Brees in to coach the quarterback. But
I think that mindset went even before they knew who they were playing. Hey, this is huge for us to win.
Yeah, no doubt, 100%. And me and you had a conversation about it. What was it? When did Alabama play? New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, yeah. The first game of New Year's Eve.
Yeah, so they obviously boat raced Kansas State, right? Kansas State was very good in the Big 12, right? They were a top 10 team.
They beat TCU.
They beat TCU
almost
twice.
beat them. No, they beat them once or twice.
No, once.
But they almost beat them the first time, right? They took them literally until the last couple seconds of the game, right? Or did they not play them during the year?
No.
TCU and Kansas State.
No, they played to the final whistle. That's where Max dug in.
Yeah, they beat him in a close one during the season and then lost.
Yeah, they went to overtime.
That's right. TCU beat them. TCU beat them in the championship.
No,
TCU lost the championship.
But they played them twice. Y'all are
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So during the regular season, they played them in a really close game and lost to TCU. And then TCU,
flipped it. Yeah.
And then
TCU won the regular season.
That's what I said. Lost to TCU early and then beat them.
Yes.
In the conference.
Yes. So they're a good team.
Yeah.
But
I don't mean to. I'll say it.
Yeah,
I don't mean to sound pompous when I say this, and I don't mean to sound like SEC bias when I say this. But to me, what I've seen over the years is,
your point.
I get it. Look, dude. There's what is there right now? 12 teams in the SEC, or is it 14?
14.
14, right? 14 teams in the SEC. Up and down, it's obviously the most complete conference. But to me, year in and year out, there still is a difference in that top. Probably 5 to 4, maybe sometimes 3 teams at the top, right? You saw Tennessee dominate with a quarterback that had 3 quarters played in the whole year. You saw LSU dominate. You saw Alabama dominate with all these guys that like didn't opt out and say, "Hey, I'm gonna play in this game." Right? You saw Ole Miss, who I think, look, they're a good team. I think they play up because they know the situation that they're in. But at the end of the day, I don't think that they are the cream of the crop in this league.
Right.
Right.
I agree.
And same thing with Kentucky. Same thing with some of these other teams right now. And so for me, it's like I feel like when you see the top of this league play, even with Georgia, like you watch that whole game, and look, don't get me wrong, C.J. Stroud and Ohio State's offense,
C.J. Stroud played an unbelievable
man.
Yeah.
And I really do feel like you watch them play that game against any other team in the country, and it's probably a win. And somehow they still lost that game.
Yep.
Right? I think when you see the cream of the SEC crop year in and year out right now play, it's just a different level of football.
No doubt. And I think that whenever one of those teams that, like, the SEC beats up on you so much, right? Like, LSU won the West, right? So they, just like Purdue, won their division of the Big Ten, right?
Yeah.
LSU won the West. They ended up having 3 losses in the regular season. They ended up being they weren't even a top 15 team going into the bowl game. They were ranked 17th in the college football poll, right? So you had Georgia ranked higher than them. You had Alabama ranked higher than them. You had Tennessee ranked higher than them. And, you have – technically you're kind of middle of the road in the top 25 at a 17th-ranked team. You go ahead and you play another team who's supposedly ranked in the middle of the road, kind of 8-4 team, and you absolutely – it wasn't even close.
Oh, they lapped
right?
them.
It wasn't even – talent-wise and competition-wise wasn't even close. And to your point, it shows the depth of the SEC and how hard and how difficult that conference is to go through it and actually get through it and like undefeated with one loss.
And I guess too, like I sit here and I say that, and you watch that Kansas State game, and you think back, because I don't know if y'all did, but I watched Kansas State play TCU in that conference championship game. Great game. Kansas State probably should have won that game. They end up losing it. Well, you don't think that Kansas State, who had no one opted out, understood that we're playing Alabama. This is a huge opportunity for our school,
right.
For guys like the running back to be like, hey, we're here. Like, we're just as good as that.
Good too.
No, the running back's good. And that's the thing, too. Like, I don't mean to say this as if, like, you watch teams like this and they don't have good players. They do. They all do, right? But position by position, top of the roster to the bottom of the roster, you just see the cream of a SEC roster. It's just different. Right? Yeah. Because you watch that, and I guarantee you they went into that being like, oh, yes, we get Bama. We get them in a primetime game on a New Year's Eve Day Bowl. We get to show.
They don't care about
They don't
it.
care. We get to show that we are as good as we think we are. And they got blown out. It wasn't even close.
And they got off.
And they got out to a lead.
They
couldn't have had a better start. They could have had a better start, and they got blown out. Right, so it's just like it's just different when you see that.
And that brings my next. You have anything you want to say? So that brings me to my next question, right? And I don't want to stray too far away from the LSU talk and kind of recapping the game. But you look at Alabama. They're in a New Year's Six bowl, which is great. It's fun to play in. You're playing on New Year's Eve, but you're not in the playoff. You don't have a chance to win a national championship. You have at least 3 guys on your team that are going to be drafted in the first round this year, right? 2 of them maybe the number 1 and number 2 picks in the draft, and Bryce Young and Will Anderson. The other guy, Branch, their safety, just announced he's supposed to be drafted in the first round as well. Mm-hmm. Those guys had no thought about opting out and going into the draft and saying, I'm not playing in this bowl game. They've actually been very vocal the other way about how they don't want to do. It's not right for them to do that. They have no reason to play it. They have this isn't going to make their stock go up, right? And then you see listen to Marlon Humphrey, who plays for the Ravens. He's an all-pro defensive back. Like he comes out and he basically talks about why he doesn't believe in people opting out, and you see that a lot, right? Lloyd, you've brought that up before. Like, why do you see all these guys from Alabama wanting to go back and play or not entering the draft or returning for their senior year? And it's, listening to all these guys, it's obviously the culture that Nick has brought up, but
stretching.
What's that?
They're stretching together.
Oh, yeah. They're stretching together, yeah. But I don't think that's what's keeping them there. But I think Nick is very honest with these guys, and I think that he's
Negotiate
earned these
game.
trust with them and basically say, listen to me, you're gonna go in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, like you come back, you're able to do this, or and they've built this, I don't know, family camaraderie. They've built this culture there that these guys don't want to leave the other guys.
I saw a little bit of his quote or his presser after the game, and the one quote that he said, which was interesting to me, right, was you create stock in yourself by actually playing. Like, you can't create stock in yourself by sitting on the sideline. And so I think of it this way, like, let's just imagine that if I flipped it this way. NFL's in week 17, right? Let's say 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago, Lamar didn't get hurt. And Lamar just said, man, we got a good team, but I don't think we can win it. I'm just going to sit these next games out. What would be the perception of that? He'd get blasted.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Right.
What's the difference in that and a college player doing it?
Right.
That's basically what they're saying. Like, I think I'm going to go here. And look, I get it, man. Like, there's a lot of money on the line. I understand you may not ever get a chance to make that money again. But you also don't know what's going on right now. Like, you sitting here saying you're predicting the future that, oh, man, I'm not chancing myself getting hurt to make this money.
What happens if you go run the 40-yard dash and you pop your hammy and now you don't get drafted high enough anyway? Like, anything can happen.
There's a lot of things that can happen. And to sit here and just say that I've done this 11 or 12 times already this year, but this one I'm not going to play because it's going to hurt. For me, I don't love that.
Yeah.
And I get it, the way they've kind of put this thing now to where if you ain't in the playoffs, the bowl games kind of feel like they don't mean anything. So a lot of these guys have done it, which is why it's time for the playoff. It should have been time to like a real playoff.
I think this year shows you how awesome the expanded playoff would be.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just, for me, it's weird because I just feel like you go out there and play. You play out the schedule that's given to you. What's supposed to happen, what will be, will be to me. That's just my honest opinion.
I agree. I like to see more of it. I understand both sides of it. I'd be on the play side, more. I'll lean more towards that side, but I do get it. But you see
it's a big gamble. I get it, man. Like, it's,
but you also see a team like Bama that have the guys
a big gamble's in week 8 too when you know you're not making the playoffs. So why is that different?
How much does it trickle down? Like, at some point, it has to. You would hope that it stops because at the root of it, like, I'm all for college players getting paid. Like, I've always have been, always will be. But at some point, I also want some of the pageantry that makes college football. And if you start, like...
But for me, it's not even that, though. For me, it's not even that, though, because like I said, flip it back. Let's literally go back 4 weeks from now. Like, Lamar hadn't played in 4 weeks. If he just said, man, we got a good team, but I don't think we can win it, I'm just not going to play. Right. How would you take that?
Right.
You'd get blasted for that. Right.
But,
man, I got money on the way. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not risking it. You get blasted for that. So why is it okay? Why is it okay on the other side of it?
I agree. Now,
I'm just saying there's you're arguing almost like pageant, like it's the old way, like you're fighting the old guard.
No,
like,
not necessarily.
Because but I feel like the people that argue against, like, if you want to do the Dabo Swinney thing, like, my name, image, and likeness isn't gone.
Oh, okay.
Like that's the people that you're fighting against. We're like, college football is about pageantry, and they get paid to go to school, and it's like, I get that, but I also want to be progressive, but I also want to see players play.
Yeah, but I don't think that you are necessarily going. I don't think you're necessarily going old school. Like, I think a lot of people are more on the side of not, you don't deserve to get paid, and you're going to school, they're paying for your school. Like, I think more people are leaning towards the side of like where the Alabama players are saying is like, you know what, I am going to get drafted number 1, number 2 overall. I am going to, be in the NFL for a very long time, make a ton of money. But I made a promise to my teammates and my guys that I've been with for the last 3 years.
College.
And I'm going to finish this out. But no, that's not college. That's a team. Like, that is the culture that is built at Alabama and at some of these big schools that Brian Kelly is obviously trying to build at LSU. And I'm not faulting guys for leaving. I'm not saying you're wrong or a bad teammate or a bad player for leaving. I'm just saying that, like, that is the argument on the other side. Is like, it's not, you got to be old school and fight. No. It's, hey, you
go get yours.
these are your boys that you've been with for 3 years.
So for me, like, you're 1,000% correct. Like, I'm 100% on that train. I'm not blaming the player. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about the player. I personally think the system that's put in place has given these guys a decision that otherwise, like, you wouldn't be making that decision if you felt like you were playing for something that mattered, right? Like, you come to LSU. Well, you come to LSU. You come to a lot of these.
He's been hurt.
But he's been hurt.
So
he's been hurt. No. But let's listen. Just hear me out when I say this. You come to LSU. You come to a lot of these big schools. Like, it's not just LSU. Like, it's a lot of big schools, right? They preach all spring after a season. They preach all summer when it's hot as hell and nobody's at school. Nobody's doing this. They preach all of that fall practice and camp. We're trying to what? We're trying to win a conference championship, and we're trying to win a national championship. When those things no longer become realistically possible, in a way you feel like, well, why am I going to play? So that's why dudes opt out.
Right.
So that's why when you created a 14 playoff, you created this monster by saying, these games don't matter. Leave. Yep. So now when you open it back up to where, 12 they're going to go to or something? I think you start seeing a whole lot less of that. Like a whole lot less.
I agree.
I think these guys are going to keep playing because you're playing for what you literally have been working for the whole year.
And I think the bowl committee is doing a very good job of trying to figure out how to make playing in bowl games that aren't in the playoff more enticing, right? And I think part of what their idea is to pay players to go play, like use NIL as a way.
So I heard they're trying to do it like this, like either that or, you know how like you get paid to go to bowl games, right? Like the teams do, the schools do, really. Yeah. Well, now they're going to play for the money. Like, you win the game, you get the money instead of the other team getting the money. Here we go. There's something to play for now.
Yeah, and obviously none of those are like final.
No, it's not. But there's
ideas.
But ideas.
That's what's going to have to be, right? There's going to have to be something to entice these guys to go because the sponsors don't want to lose the bowl games because the bowl games make a bunch of money. I mean, Cheez-It had 2 fucking bowl games this year.
Yeah.
Cheez-It Citrus Bowl and Cheez-It. What was the other bowl? Anybody know? Was it just a Cheez-It Bowl?
Just a Cheez-It Bowl.
No, so it was a Cheez-It Bowl, and this was the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
Yeah.
No, the Citrus Bowl was the one where...
This was the Citrus Bowl. The one that Florida State played in was the Cheez-It Bowl.
Right, this is the Cheez-It
Yeah, this was the
Citrus
Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
And the Florida State had just said the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah.
That's my fault. I was thinking of Tennessee.
Because the opener for LSU Florida State posted, like, the winners, they put them as, like, if it were a bracket, because Florida State and LSU both won. They said, well, the finals are set for the opener next year.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Semifinals. But the Bulls are doing a good job of trying to figure out a creative way to make the Bulls more enticing. But I agree with you. I think that not having an expanded playoff, teams aren't. It's easy for a young guy who has agents in their ear and other people in their ear to check out if they're supposed to be a high draft pick or even get drafted in the NFL if their team has no chance of moving forward. I don't want to.
I think it's cool.
Get on my soapbox.
I think the thought process of it too is cool when you get a chance. Like, playoffs just bring out like what is the best, right? So like it's cool when you sit here and say, man, dude, like Alabama take y'all out of here for whatever the reason may be, and then you see them boat race a team and they still be in it right now. LSU boat race a team. Well, they might still be. Well, they wouldn't have been. They're 17.
Right.
But I also think that has a lot to do with how they did this thing. Like, had this been 12 open, I think they get ranked differently. We talked about this.
Don't say what I think you're about to say.
What?
What?
You.
What do you think I'm about to say?
If LSU didn't lose to Texas A&M.
No. I mean,
no. I really do. No. I think that's right in the sense of if they didn't lose to A&M,
they're in the top 12.
Right, but I still think even with the loss to A&M, if this is 12 teams, I think that thing gets ranked a little differently. I truly believe that.
Maybe.
That's when the money comes in.
Now, Tulane.
Coach, whoever was working the cameras for the Tulane game was as horny as you can be. He found every girl.
That one girl that he kept going up in her eyes. Yeah, it was the one that.
Look, Brent Musburger was
camera guys are horny.
Every game this weekend, they found the one.
They do. That's what they do. But Tulane would have been in the playoff, 12-team playoff, right? Because they would have been the highest-ranked non-Power 5 team, right? Everybody would have rolled their eyes. Oh, Tulane, who is this team? Well, they go to the Cotton Bowl, which they probably all these bowls would have been. Well, I guess they would have had a home game in the first game. But let's say Tennessee and Tulane realistically could have played in a 12-team playoff this year, based off of where they ended, based off of whatever.
Yeah.
And they go out there and they beat USC. They would move on to the next round. Nobody thought they had a chance of beating USC, right? Now the line wasn't astronomical. I think the line was, USC was favored by 2.5. so it wasn't like it was astronomical. But
And,
they go out
well,
there
and we'll
fucking
tell the
win.
truth.
It's like,
USC
it
had a
gives-
couple guys out on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I don't even think that.
Yeah, but they had a Heisman
Their
winner.
defense stinks.
It's been
Hey,
stinky.
I'm
just saying,
watching
I'll
that
give 'em-
Utah game. When Utah beat them, I'm like, these guys
They
must
don't play
must play
defense.
flag football at practice.
They don't.
Like,
they don't
must
tackle
never,
all year.
ever tackle ever because they are running away from contact.
Yeah, yeah.
It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's pretty embarrassing. But I'm with you. I think the 12-team playoff is going to be awesome. That isn't going into effect
2 years.
2024, right?
Yeah. So you got one more year of this.
We got one more year of this.
Yeah.
But let's flip this back to LSU. I think
We ain't done.
Hey,
yet.
how do you think the committee feels about throwing two Big
Ten
Ten schools
teams
in there and both of them are going home? How do you think they feel about
well,
that?
you had a 50-50 shot. You had 50% of the teams in the top Final Four were there to have to go to the finals, and not one of them.
And look, I'm not back on the SEC bias, but when has that happened when the SEC's had to?
Everybody's worried about Ryan Day's job. Now Harbaugh's back in the news to go to the NFL.
Harbaugh's going in. Harbaugh says, I'm done with this shit, bro.
This is enough.
Let me go. Bring me to, where does he want to go? Indianapolis, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Jim
he
Irsay, because
he
he's
played there.
How is he in the Ring of Honor there?
He played there a
Yeah,
long
for
time.
like 4
He wasn't
years.
good.
No, I thought he was there for a little bit longer than that.
Not long.
Not Ring of Honor good. Like, what? I mean, there's
I
gotta
only
be
rem-
some-
I only
there's
really
gotta be
remember
some
him there.
Sacredity to the thing,
Right,
right?
but
I only really remember him there, so maybe he was a little bit better there.
I
than
just
we
remember,
think.
like, I'm just shocked he doesn't wear eye black on the sidelines as a
Okay,
head coach.
okay. Listen.
He had the old Eddie. He had the old
I love-
George.
Oh, yeah.
What's the quarter for Atlanta? Last name George. They used to wear the old
Jeff
school-
George.
Jeff George.
Jeff George.
There you go. They used to wear the old school like with the
The
that
T-bar.
That thing was terrible.
Oh. and then Peyton Manning picked it up.
He did.
He
He
was
did
like, I
have
got
a
it
little
because he
bit.
broke his jaw.
I think Nuss is great. I just wish he'd lose the eye black. I'm not a big eye black guy. Like that's
It's just obnoxious.
Mikey, I'm about to pull up some pictures of you, and let's see.
You can pick up as much as you want. I have no eye black. I don't ever wear eye black. Hated it.
See, I learned that a big eye black guy back in the day for baseball.
Yeah, he played for the Colts from 1994 to 1997.
Just
That's
3
not
years?
Ring of Honor good.
No.
That's
What
3
would he do there? Let's talk about that. What did he do there?
I don't know that. But anyway, my point to this whole thing, right?
You could light a
LSU ends the season.
cork, and if you
Yeah,
needed
yeah.
eye black, that was the way to
Right.
do it. If you
Right,
were
that was the
lineman.
old school way.
Yeah.
Um,
Shout out Jeff Lamont.
But if you look at the season, the way the season ended, right? LSU got to their 10 wins. They're 10-4. They're probably gonna end up in the top 15, and when it's all said and done, they have their entire offensive line coming back. They have their starting quarterback coming back. They have basically all of their wide receivers coming back outside of Kayshawn. You have a great recruiting class coming in. Would you think that LSU is going to be ranked in the top 5 preseason, or do you think more conservatively probably like top 10?
Top 10.
Top 10.
I'd say borderline.
I think
Borderline
I
top
think-
5, definitely
I think
top 8.
7. 7, 8 is a good spot. I think that they're going to be ranked preseason. I think. What do you agree? What do you
I say
think?
top 8. I wouldn't be like shocked if they were top 5,
I would. Oh,
but I think
here's another question, or another way to phrase it is: who do you think is ranked ahead, Florida State or LSU?
That's a good question.
'Cause
I would imagine.
I honestly think they'll be right. They'll be paired together.
It could be.
7, 8, 6, 7.
I agree with that.
It could be
I do
there.
agree with that.
they're going to set the thing up again.
Well, they
Like
should.
top
I mean,
10 matchup for sure.
They should.
Standalone game.
But they've earned that.
Well, now they did.
Both teams
This
have
year
earned
we
that.
didn't know.
Yeah, neither
Now-
team was ranked.
Run it back.
Neither team was ranked. So but
That's what I'm saying. Now it's a.
let's just
Yeah.
not give the other one a week 0 game.
They've both earned that. Listen, I don't give a shit about the week 0
I do.
games.
That's real, dude. What do you mean?
I mean, it's whatever.
Come on, dude.
It's whatever.
Are you kidding me?
I mean,
You can't have a real game and then all of a
I
sudden.
know it does help
What?
to have a little bit of a dress rehearsal.
I'm not, and I'm not. Look, I'm not saying here saying like, oh,
Kick the
it
living
was
shit
cheating.
out
No,
of them.
no, but like,
No, I know. It's nice to have a little dress rehearsal when you don't
Yeah.
have really any like you're worried about losing. I get that. It does help. But
I'm not making it
Yeah.
like an excuse at all. Like they won the game. Like it's really that simple, right?
right.
But I'd like to see it not happen.
I mean, I would love to make an.
But they-
excuse.
but
I
they-
would love
they-
to make an excuse for Polian.
Hey,
but
they would probably say on the other side too. Well, I'd like to see a neutral field be a neutral field too. So
they were there.
I will say this.
but they had to travel here to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like
They
that's
get it in Orlando next year. So.
there you go. So maybe we get the week 0
We'll try. And I
game.
promise you.
I'll have to look up their schedule.
I promise you that it's probably gonna be another 50-50 split.
Yeah.
Like,
First of all,
oh, you're gonna go to Orlando on Labor Day weekend during, everybody's gonna be there. Right? LSU's gonna travel very well. You can go Disney World, bring all your family.
Ugh.
You can do the whole deal. I love Disney World.
Ugh.
Adult Disney World's great. It's great. You're just anti happy things.
I don't know about that.
I'm very happy.
What are your
not
concerns
necessarily
going
true.
into the offseason?
Yeah,
Lloyd?
just too much happy.
What are your concerns going into the
No, I was
offseason?
just looking up Florida State's schedule, and there is no week 0 game. It is LSU, as of now.
Can you add one late?
You can
Yeah.
just move a game. Like some people think we should move the Grambling game to week 0, and then it gives you another bye. Like in the middle.
No, I don't like that.
Well, y'all competitors. But I'm just saying, no, as of now, it's toe-to-toe, foot-to-foot.
How about Sonny Dykes dropping a little shade on the SEC?
How about
saying
TCU?
that you can't?
Unbelievable.
What?
I thought they were dead. I
know.
I can't believe that they keep winning. I know we already talked about it a little bit, but I obviously bet against them. I thought that man's going to die on the football field.
Stop.
Have you
What did
ever
he say?
seen
Stop.
anybody?
You don't know what he
No.
said? So he basically had a little bit of a jab at the SEC, saying that TCU's had 11 straight games of playing top tier competition and conference
They
and all that
play the
stuff.
Citadel.
And we don't play the Citadel in
what he
week
said
10 or
was-
something.
Who's the top tier competition?
No, he said in week 10 we played Texas. In week 10 Alabama played the Citadel.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
So basically, we don't get that little break in the season.
You also don't get this. You also don't get this schedule either.
I mean, I get it.
Hey,
I'm
come on,
just saying,
Sam. That's cool. That's fine. I get it.
Alabama played Texas. They were playing a school that I don't even remember the name.
Hey, he's
Yeah.
got to get Coach of the Year, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is-
No
is-
doubt. Did he already win it?
Is
Did
this
they
his
come out with
first
that?
year
Did they
at
come out with
TCU?
that?
Did they say this is his first year? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Good for
they
him.
came out with it already.
Hey, good for
Did
him.
he
That's
win it?
impressive.
I don't know.
Did they already came out with the Coach of the Year awards?
When did Ben Wickerson win Center of the Year? That's the only one I remember.
What?
When the awards came out, and I was like, damn, they already named him the Remington. He was a freshman.
Oh yeah, all the
All-American.
players awards come
Yeah.
out in
Yeah, when they do the
December.
Heisman.
Yeah,
the
they
weekend of the
do.
Heisman.
Have they announced National Coach of the Year and all that kind of stuff, or does that come out after the year?
He won the AP Coach of the Year.
Okay, well, he should. I mean, he should. They have the most wins above prediction. They're projected 5.5 wins. They have the most in the history of college football. So,
Hey, look, I'll say this too. That receiver they got is real.
And he just came back.
what?
That was his first game back in a while.
Oh, he's supposed to be the top first receiver taken off the
Yeah.
board.
No. He had been playing. He played in the conference
No,
championship.
he had
game.
a high ankle sprain. One.
played in that game,
I
didn't he?
know, but now he's healthy. You saw
Hey,
it.
he's nice.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the
real.
number one receiver taken. in
Like
the draft.
real, for
You
real.
know who else is nice? Marvin Harrison Jr. is nice.
Yeah, he is. He's ugly, but goddamn, he can play.
Nice.
Let me stop. Hey, it's crazy too because he's I feel like he's way more physical than his dad. Big Marvin wasn't like that.
Nah,
He wasn't built like that.
He just ran routes and just.
Oh,
he just-
Big Mar's very physical. Check the rap sheet.
What? What happened? What do you mean?
Get accused of murder.
I'm not talking about that. Jeez.
Well, he could.
Talk on the field.
I'm talking about on the field.
Oh, yeah, he was sinewy.
He was like swimming in pads. His pads was big, and Peyton was throwing ducks that was
88,
right on the numbers, and
But
he was
he was
making
always
plays.
open.
He was always making
He was
plays.
running. His pads were bouncing up off his shoulders.
Now Lil Marv is not Lil. He's a big dude,
Yeah.
bro. He's a very long,
They're good,
big
man.
dude.
They have a lot of.
Hey, I'll say it again. Your boy looked nice in that game. CJ Stroud.
He
looked
did.
good.
I've always been a CJ Stroud fan.
He looked
I
good.
like the fact that he ran more
He
than
did. I think he made himself a lot of
Tried
money
his
in that
ass
game.
off.
I think he made himself
What's
a
that?
lot of money.
Just tried his ass
Yeah,
off.
he played hard,
that
man.
was-
'Cause
you could tell
You
how
know,
much
the
they
knock
wanted
on
to
him.
win.
The knock on him was kind of like it was with what's his name? Your boy in Jacksonville right now.
Trevor
Oh,
Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
The knock on him was kind of like,
He's soft.
well, no, there was nothing off schedule. Everything was so on schedule. You
Yeah.
never faced pressure. That it was just I don't know what it's not going to
Yeah.
be like that in the league. And watching him do that, I'm like, yo, it was different. He looked different that game.
different.
And you could say the same thing about Justin Fields, where it looks a little. That's not what he played like at Ohio State. He was
Right.
on schedule and on time, and was a I would say dual threat, but could throw from the pocket. Now in Chicago, they're just making him run the ball.
Yeah, they stink.
Did you see Dabo this weekend? He looked like he was about to have an aneurysm.
I didn't watch any. What happened?
He was so sweaty.
Dabo?
Oh my God! There's like time lapses of him, and he tried to run a fake with his own son.
What do you got on that quarterback? The young
know.
kid they got there. I don't know if he's good. I feel like he's.
I didn't watch that
Like, he
game,
was
so I
supposed to
can't.
I
be
did.
good.
I
Yeah,
did.
I'm sorry.
Tennessee dominated him, but I didn't. I was.
Oh my God! That man's arm.
The guy's like apparently supposed to be really good.
He was a big recruit.
He was the number one.
Yeah,
like, dude,
right.
yeah. And I don't know. He's played well in conference games there, and in that game,
Dabo ran a fake to his own son, who's the field goal holder.
Dabo didn't run that.
Speaking of field goal kickers, how bad was that field goal kick to win the game?
Oh my God! Well,
He got 2 shots at it. 2 shots.
Hey, you know what was funny?
The first one obviously called time, so you got a practice kick, and that one looked terrible. At least you had a distance. You just didn't get high enough.
Hey, the funny part about it is, shout out to Will Davis, one of our friends, literally was like, hey, if that kick was from the 1 yard line, he would have missed it. It was never on target.
Never on target. Now,
didn't cross. It was never
on
on
the flip
target.
side, what game? It was the.
He saved them before, like throughout his career.
Was it the?
yeah, he was a good kicker.
Biggest moment. He
Was it Ohio State's kicker?
No, it's Michigan's kicker.
No, but whose punter saved the game for him with that unbelievable? Like it was a bad punt. He was rolled out, and kicked it other foot, and then ended up downing at the 1 yard line. It was a huge.
That was an NFL game, wasn't it?
Was it?
That was the
game?
Camarda guy.
Oh, it was an
Tampa.
NFL game.
Yeah.
That's who it was. It was Tampa. Tampa almost lost the game.
Yeah.
They should have lost. They almost lost the game to the Panthers.
Eliminated the Saints.
The Panthers scored to make it a touchdown, like 1-score game. Tampa had to punt the ball back. They punt it, bad snap, rolls back to the punter. He fields it, runs out the way, almost gets tackled, somehow switches legs, kicks it, rolls it down, downs it at the half-yard line. It was the most outrageous punt and won the game for him.
You know that guy ran in the combine?
Camarda?
Yeah.
How old did he run?
Just take a guess.
4.5.
Yeah. He ran
The
a 4.5 at the combine. Yeah. Tampa's punter ran a 4.5.
Hey, you don't have to run. No, I want to run. I'm going to show you. I want to run. I want to run. Like,
we gonna get one
I
of
know it
these
doesn't
fakes.
matter, but I want to
Yeah.
do this. Let me show you.
Yeah.
That's like the punters that are jacked. Like,
Yeah, like,
oh,
I'm
you don't have to do
benching.
this. No.
No, I'm a
doing
bench
it.
just
Rest
225
I know it has
all
nothing
day.
to do with me, but I'm doing it. So
Yeah.
I want to show you that I can bench 225 20 times.
It's Michael Scott running down the freeway. Hey, that's
But
my
that-
new number.
That punt was unbelievable. It was. I mean, it won the game. I was watching it because now the Saints are officially eliminated. We don't talk about them anymore. I would like them to win another game so that
Alvin
they.
Kamara deleted everything off his Instagram.
Did he?
Yeah, what was that about?
He's never been drama. Now all of a sudden,
I saw he put something else up, and I don't think it had anything to. I don't know. I really don't know. I just saw he posted something else, and it didn't seem like it was a shot at the Saints or anything.
if you lose Alvin, like what you okay. Let me do this parallel. What you have with Zion Williamson right now with the Pelicans is what you had with Alvin Kamara and the New Orleans Saints whenever you embrace culture and culture embraces you and it feels like the perfect fit. If you trade Alvin Kamara away, it feels like the Saints are gone.
Yeah, but Sean's coming back. And
If that's what I was about to say. If Sean comes back, we're either on 100 or we're on 0.
So I want them to win the other game. Now it doesn't matter, but I want them to win so that the Eagles to get a lesser pick. They don't get a better pick. But I want Sean. I also think, well, if they win, they go 8-9 and they end the season strong. Do they keep Dennis Allen? I'm like, you can't keep Dennis Allen if Sean Payton wants to come back.
No.
So if you lose a game, you go 7-9 or 7-10. You play bad. You didn't have a really good season. Sean comes back. Okay, come on back. We'll give you. The job
I guess
back.
for me, when I think about them too, I think about like that roster was depleted last year. Like they were not very good,
He coached his ass off.
and they still had a
9-8.
winning. They still had a winning season.
They would have won the. They got to the playoff. Who lost? Who do we need to? Somebody needed to win the last game of the season for us to get in. They fucking lost.
This year?
No, last year when Sean.
Panthers.
I forgot who it was.
Yeah.
But look, I get it. This year they had some injuries early on and blah 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 blah. But like that roster was so good this year, and I feel like they underperformed in a sense of like it just that has to be a coaching.
They
thing more
they
than-
dove back into win now mode. Like they dipped one more time into like we're gonna win now. When you sign a Jarvis, a Tyron, like these aren't prospects. These are like These are win now guys, and they're from Louisiana. I get the culture and I get the fit, and that's what got everybody excited. But if you don't have a quarterback, and you have a defensive style head coach with a quarterback that's Andy Dalton,
Well, I mean,
what do you think's gonna happen?
well, I mean that's that, but here's
Sean Payton was running with the Sibian.
No, but here's my thing. I mean, you're not wrong about it, but my thing is like well, who's the quarterback that you had these last couple games where they've gone and played well? But I think they tried so hard to try to figure out something else instead of being like, hey, like, bro, keep putting Taysom in the game, keep running the ball, keep doing like do these things because this is what's going to get you to win. And they got away from that in that like losing streak, and I don't know, it's
all collapsed so fast.
I mean, Taysom had what 14 carries the last game.
Yeah.
Like,
it was a snowstorm.
Last game
Against Cleveland.
No,
this game. Yeah,
last
this
weekend.
He didn't watch this game. I promise you, he did.
No chance.
He's out on Saints games right now.
They needed the Rams to beat the 49ers in the last week
Last year.
Playoff,
You're
and the
right.
Rams lost.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And then still ends up winning the Super Bowl. Thanks, Rams. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Odell's still out there.
Hey, I did hear a story the other day. This is completely off topic, but apparently Odell played all year last year with no ACL. Like, it was known.
Yeah, well, how'd he tear it?
He told the story. I saw it was on someone's podcast. I don't even know how I randomly saw this clip. That it was known, like a good amount of people with LA, that he had no ACL. He was rolling the dice. This is what it was going to be. And he said that the doctor. He basically said that the doctor told him, like, it was going to be really hard for me to tell you after you had the game of your life, won a Super Bowl, MVP, that you still needed to have season-ending knee surgery. Because, like, that's where he was. So apparently, like, they signed him knowing that the knee was not
Ready
or great, and the worst ended up happening in the last game of the year.
Damn, that sucks.
But apparently, like, it was like the running joke, like, as the year was going, like, they're like,
You don't have no ACL.
how are you doing this?
Yeah.
How are you healthy game from game? Like, you got what's going on here? That's the story that he told. I'm like, bro, what? That's
Have you
crazy.
seen him working out?
Right. I mean, maybe randomly.
Just on Instagram, he just dropped like a hype video.
No,
and
I didn't
it's,
see that.
like, even for you, it's unbelievable. Like,
I
the
didn't see
shit
it.
that he's doing, even for you. Like, he's off one leg on a barbell, like, onto a 35-inch box. And it's like,
Talking about Odell?
yeah.
He's the most
I mean,
freakishly
he's a freak
athletic.
Freak.
I mean, he could have.
So that's what I'm saying. It gives credence to your story. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I got no ACL.
Like, I say this, like, I know, like, and it's real because, like, I mean, you remember Ryan Schimpf didn't have an ACL in one knee. I mean, he's played a whole career in baseball. I mean, obviously it ain't the same thing, but
He cheated off of my cousin in
what?
high school.
Wait, what?
Where he's from?
Covington?
Covington. Yeah, they
St.
went to St.
Paul's.
Paul's together.
Yeah.
I want to
Cheated on math.
get back on topic a little bit right now.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, Ron's gonna call.
I want to get back on topic a little bit. I'm reading some of the quotes that Brian Kelly had post game, right? And you know, obviously the big elephant in the room that we have not acknowledged, right, is some of the rumors that have been swirling around social media and national media, and you know, questions that are being asked. Well, Brian Kelly was asked about it, and he basically says that, he says that the all assistants and player personnel that are with him as of now are in good standing with him, right?
That's the cool. What was the question?
You know, I don't know exactly what the question was. I don't know. I didn't hear the presser, so I don't know what was asked. But it said there are no coaches or support staff that have done anything but met the highest standards set for the program, right? Now, he didn't come out and say that never happened, but he also didn't come out and say that anybody did anything wrong, right? So, you know, everything's conjecture. It's all rumors. You don't know. Nobody knows the facts about what happened behind the scenes. But part of what Brian Kelly was brought in to do was to clean up the culture, right?
It was a little janitorial work that had to happen.
Right, and he did. He did a very good job of that. I think that's been very evident. Now, I want to make clarify exactly what I'm saying here. In the past, a lot of these things that needed to be cleaned up were like legal issues, were things that were scars on the program, things that were just not good looks for the program, right? For anybody to have anything going on there was sexual allegations. There was, all these types of things that are never good were happening in the program. So he came in, cleaned all that up, right? Now, the rumors that are swirling now aren't.
Everybody is seeing the same screenshot.
Right. The rumors that are swirling now basically aren't saying this has happened.
What board is this on?
This basically happened. Like, the stuff that's being said is basically stuff that an event that happened, but it is
Happy New
apparently
Year.
all consented on, right? Like, now obviously
Consensual.
right? You don't know who was involved, who wasn't involved, if it happened, if it didn't happen, but the alleged event that may have taken place was consensual, allegedly, and it doesn't fall into that category of the bad ish
Foul play
stuff.
Dude, you're not ready to have a child.
Why?
The way you're talking about this is just unbelievable.
Well, I wouldn't talk to my child about this.
Well, you're gonna have to at some point talk to him about like the
mean,
birds and the bees.
Well, I can. I'm
Dancing
not. I'm
around
not
the
talking
thing.
to my child. I'm talking to other people that I'm not sitting in one-on-one with, and I can be pretty frank with them. Here, I can't say what I want to say because
Why
people are
not?
going to take it and quote it and say, "Oh, this guy is not a good person." Is basically what it said, because they would misinterpret something I would say. So that's why I'm trying to say it. But that is basically what he said. Is he didn't think there's anything that, at least he knows, there's no wrongdoing. So
Right.
I don't know. What do y'all feel about that?
I think the people that were involved already left.
I mean, I don't know if
It's
it's
a puzzle that's very
so-
easy to put together.
Yeah, no. I'm just at the point. I'm still at the point of this. I'll just say this. The question of there's still no direct quote to did it or happen.
And I don't
or
know
did
what
it
the
not.
question
and
was
I don't know
either.
what the question was
Right.
either. Once again, too. So like, if with that's why I asked you about the question part. But that's never been said yet. So for me, that's still a little puzzling in the whole situation, right? So I guess I'll leave it until something like that actually gets answered.
Do you think? I don't think they'll hope.
Hopefully there's no.
Hopefully,
Hopefully,
yeah, exactly.
hopefully there's
I was
nothing
gonna-
happening.
No, yeah, I just don't know the question to the answer to the quote that was given.
Right.
I think the question is a very, very, very important part of how we arrived at that answer, and I don't have that yet.
Wow.
I don't know if we ever will. Like
You
that's
may not.
part. This is the dirty
No,
underbelly
I think
of
we.
college
I don't
sports.
know if we ever. But I guess for me, like
Like you
the
didn't find
word-
out about Jordy said he knew about Les while he was.
Yeah, but all the
I
stuff
didn't
that
know.
left,
You
but
know
all
what
the
I'm
stuff
saying?
that
this
left
is very
happened.
public right now.
Yeah, but all the stuff that happened with Les was
late-
not good.
Right.
Like this
No,
was like
I'm saying like
sexual harassment shit that
Right.
happened under Les.
no, but no. The two stories differ absolutely, but I'm
That's
saying
what I was trying to
this
explain.
is happening very publicly, while Les it felt like happened after the fact. And this is not like it feels like this is consensual adults doing consensual things, absolutely, but it's never played out on this timeline this quickly, this fast in college sports, and it feels like it's just
That's the
LSU
culture. That's the
again.
internet.
Yes,
That's
what I'm saying.
that's
Where
what the
the
culture
times
is.
are changing to where, like I said, I don't even know where this story came from, but I got the same screenshot from 15 different people. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just want to know. I want to see someone ask or hear if someone has asked a question straight up, and then what the answer would be.
Yeah.
To that. And I don't know if that was a question that was asked straight up.
I don't know, but
No reporter would put him in that
No.
position. Yeah.
no, I don't think
There
so.
you go.
Unless you're late.
I'm sure it was.
Maybe you'll win more.
Yeah, I'm sure they won a lot this
Yeah,
year.
it's 10 wins now.
I'm sure.
Put it in the kitty.
I'm
wanna
sure
keep
that it
coming
was a
back.
pretty vague question, and
Right.
he gave the answer that he needed to give, and
Right.
at least you have a coach that is thoughtful about how he responds to stuff like that, and doesn't just
That's the best part, is that like you're actually handling this like
Yeah.
an adult.
an adult.
Didn't seem
Yeah.
like he was. Oh, I can't believe they asked me that.
Oh, now that you mention it,
Yeah.
what a win!
Yeah.
Kiss her on the lips.
He also
If she's a
said
girl.
Jaden Daniels is clearly the starter,
Because he is.
but Garrett Nussmeier will be given a chance to win the job this offseason ahead of 2023. What we have committed to is an open mind and an open process, which is
Oh my
exactly the answer
If you're
we
not a
thought
girl,
he was going
friend.
to say about the quarterback position, right? Like, Jaden Daniels is the starter. It's his job to lose. If Jaden Daniels continues to do what he's been doing, it's his job. He's going to be the starter.
I'd like to marry
So
you, but
with that being said, what's your take on what is the real quarterback situation going into next year? Like, do you think it's a real open competition? Like, or what do you think?
I think that Jaden Daniels is the starter, right? I think that he's gonna continue to give Nuss some Jaden. If there's 100% of the snaps with number one with the number one team, Jaden Daniels is gonna get 85% of those, 90% of those, right? Nuss is gonna get some of the other snaps with him. He's gonna do what he's got to do, and I think Brian Kelly is trying to keep Nuss there for as long as he can keep him
he's
there.
doing what he did last year.
So that I about to say when I hear that response, I think, boy, if there was ever a world without having Jaden Daniels next year, would I still love to have Nuss on this roster? Yes. How can I keep him here?
Give him the Cheez-It room.
Yep. I think that was I think that response was literally I'm talking through the media directly to you, Nussmeier. Meaning I'm trying to get you to stay here as much as possible because it would really, really, really help us out if we have that to fall back on.
And
this is also zero shot to Walker.
No.
Right? He's just the unknown right now.
Right. And I like the fact that he was able to get into the bowl game. I wish I would have been able to get into the bowl game with some of the guys.
Go ahead, man. Just go ahead and say what you was going to say. I'm not answering.
Go
that.
ahead.
No.
You wish he was with the ones in Paris? Go, man. Stop, man. Go. Lloyd, what are you saying, Lloyd? Go. Go.
Say it. Do it.
No. Stop. Answer.
Go ahead.
But I was gonna ask, did you think it was odd that they put Garrett Nussmeier in that early?
Yeah.
I did.
I
wasn't
expecting
expecting him to go in that early. I thought they're gonna get out to a lead. Like I thought, if they would have done what they did this year, the way the game went, right? If you'd have said before the game started, if LSU said, "Oh, LSU is gonna be out 35-0 at halftime," I'm like, "Oh, well, Nussmeier is gonna get
a half,
2 quarters, 2.5 quarters of play, right?" Like the
it.
minute they're up 4 scores.
In 7 years,
They're gonna take him out and they're gonna put Nuss in, and Nuss is gonna play, and they're gonna both get the opportunity to play. Well, I did not expect. All right, you're gonna give Jaden the first drive. First drive didn't go well. It's okay. Then you punt it out. You get the ball back. Second drive once goes really well, and then you see Nuss, and I'm like, oh shit. And then Nuss goes down all the way down there, does really well. Then Jaden's back in. I'm like, all right, they're gonna do this thing. Well, then Jaden got consecutive drives, and then Nuss got consecutive. It was just. I wasn't expecting it, but it worked very well. Both players played very well, and the offense never lost any rhythm.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what I'm wondering if that was a test case for next year. When you see Brian Kelly has done this before, where he's played.
We talked about this.
We
thought we were going to do this year.
The door's never been more open.
I think it plays to his point if he's trying to keep him happy.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, it goes deeper than Jaden Daniels. For me, it goes to. We can't have a team MVP, unanimous team MVP, somehow lose a job
because of what?
In not a real game. Like, how does a returning starter, unanimous team MVP,
SEC champion,
Championship West, SEC West champion, return the next year and not have a starting spot? Not because it's, for me, what does that say to the rest of the team, and how do you give off confidence to anyone else if that's what you're doing to that guy? Right. Now look, and this is all saying that he goes and takes care of his business in the offseason, which is puts in the work, right?
It feels like he is going to.
It doesn't feel like he's not, right?
Right.
It'd be hard pressed for me to sit here and say, like, you come back, you show up next year, and you're like, man, that guy just didn't work. He didn't do anything. He wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared. He didn't do this. If he does all those things, how is he not a starter next year? Because the rest of the roster is gonna be like, well, this doesn't bode well for me, right? So, like, for me, it goes a little bit deeper than just a Jaden Daniels. It goes to a entire situation of the whole club. Now, I'll completely say this, and I said this pre-show too. Barring 2 losses through 6 games of the season, I don't think you look at changing him until after
Yeah.
that. If you don't think you're
So
if you don't think
basically-
you're getting what you need to get out of that position.
to go a little bit further.
You're not going to have Nussmeier for that.
I don't. But for me, it's not even about just
To go
Nussmeier.
further, Brian Kelly's to go more in depth. He said there is no quarterback controversy.
Yeah.
Jaden is the number one quarterback. Garrett will get a chance to compete.
Yeah.
Exactly what we're saying, right? Jaden is the guy. He is the number one quarterback. He's going to get the majority of the reps. He's going to do the stuff. But Nuss is going to continue to progress and compete. If Nuss starts to look better and Jaden does something wrong, gets hurt or does something, Nuss is the guy. If not, Jaden's the guy. And that's just the way it works.
Yep.
You know, and Jaden's earned that. At least I think.
I think so too.
So does Brian Kelly.
And look, and I guess for me, it's not like there's 12 games for sure on the schedule next year. I'm not saying that he's the starter for all 12, right? There's a body of work that needs to be taken care of, and you flip the page once we get to next year and into the season, right? But to start the year, I don't understand how you could ever think that he wouldn't be the starter game one.
Yeah. I would like to see Walker somehow get some development. If Walker doesn't get to play with any
Were
of the
you
starters.
shocked by the way that they kind of used him
When?
today?
No, they gave him an opportunity to play.
Yeah, but it didn't, like you said, didn't get a chance to run with the
Yeah,
line.
but that was just the way the game played out.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like they're not going to put him
And it
in
is
the game with the
probably-
ones.
Sunshine Scooter.
It is probably guys he's thrown to all year. for the
Yeah,
most
like
part, too, so.
he's the third string quarterback this
Right.
year based off of the red shirt and everything. So like he played in the situation that was dictated for his position on the depth chart, right? So they're not going to play him over Nuss right now because he's redshirted. But I'm glad he did get in, and I would just wish that he was able to throw it more. Just the way the game was. I mean, it was 50. Was it 56?
63 to
It was,
7.
well, I know, but it was 56-3 at the time, 56
Yeah.
to 7 at the time before when he got in. And like, what are you gonna do? You let him sling it around. He got to throw the ball a couple times. One ball got batted down. He showed he could run a little bit. He showed his wheels a little bit around the
did.
corner.
Who had the highest QBR of anybody on the team that attempted to
I mean,
pass?
Malik Neighbors
I
had
don't
a
even-
QBR of like almost 500.
I still don't even know how they compute QBR, so I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was 2 for 2 for 50 yards and a tud. But for actual numbers, Jaden 12 of 17 for 139 and 1 touchdown. And this is the part where it gets a little hairy because people love this of Nussmeier. 11 for 15 for 173, 2 touchdowns. But
Yeah.
the
Well,
pick.
but I will say that out of the 173, 63 of them came on a push pass.
Yeah.
So, let's
But
take
I'm saying
that.
that like what people are going to stare at the depth chart or stare at the numbers in the.
Oh, he's got the ability. Nobody doubts that. But like going 11 of 15 and 12 of 17, that's
But that's
like
what I'm saying. People are just going to look at this and be like, well, damn. Like,
one incompleted 4 passes, one incompleted 5 passes. The other guy who incompleted 5 passes also had 68 yards rushing on the ground on 6 carries.
yeah, that's what I'm screaming.
And not
JD
and
five
a
till-
lot of these runs were designed. It wasn't like he was just running around for his life. It was, hey, his 38-yard run was a read option.
It felt very within the system.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
when it comes to watching Nussmeier play, dude, like, if I'm being completely honest, you don't really see many guys can throw it the way he does.
Dan Orlovsky was having an orgasm.
No,
about how good he can
it's
throw it.
impressive.
I like
dude.
Dan Orlovsky a lot. I
It's
really do.
it's legit impressive
Yeah,
when
he's
he
like,
plays.
man, I love the way he throws
but
the
it's
football.
playing the position of quarterback goes further than just being able to throw it.
For sure.
And that's really all it comes down.
sure.
And
And
I'm
he
not
looked-
saying that he can't do that stuff.
Today-
but I'm
It's not worth the risk.
I'm not there every day.
Right.
There's a reason why they chose Jaden over the other.
And today he looked good. Today he was within the offense. He
Yeah.
didn't try to do anything crazy. The only the interception he threw wasn't a bad decision. It was a bad throw.
Yeah.
It was
Right?
a risk.
It was
it was a one-on-one ball.
was
It
a
wasn't
one-on-one
that
It was
ball.
a bad throw, but that's what you get with him. Like that's what it's always going to be.
Yeah, but like it was a one-on-one fade route that you literally had a receiver that you wanted isolated with the cornerback. All you had to do was throw the ball up and let him go give a shot. Oh, he threw it a little too flat and it was short, and that's why I got picked off.
Right.
So like
And that
it
happens.
wasn't
It's going to
compared.
happen a lot.
Yeah, but that happens like Jaden threw
So,
one earlier.
but
It
listen,
happened.
that's a bad pass.
Yeah.
There was
Not a bad decision.
Right.
There was a number
right
of
play.
there was a number of bad decisions, great throws that happened in the SEC championship game that got glossed over, right? What if you combine the two in the same game? Are we out of the game at halftime? That's where things get scary.
Right.
When you have him in the game.
It's the fear of the unknown in the LSU fan base. That's what they're. You know what you're getting with Jaden Daniels, but you would love for Nussmeier
And
to put it together. And maybe, and I think in a perfect world, it's Walker Howard
Hey,
that are married two together.
I'll just tell you, here's my hot take. I'm not saying I
You
ain't
have it all
saying,
three.
I'm not saying you're going to get 2019, but I do truly think there is going to be a significant jump in the LSU offense next year.
Tell me your predictions. What'd you say? What'd you tell me today? How many
think-
yards you think he's gonna have next year?
I think it'll be 3,500 plus next year, passing
In the
yards
air.
for Jaden. And that's not talking about what he can possibly do on the ground as well.
I think here's my thing. If he's gonna throw for 3,500 yards, he's not gonna rush for 1,000 like he almost did this year.
I think he still might.
I think, but a reason I say that is I think that he's going to be throwing the ball more intentionally.
The only reason I'm saying that is because I think if they can progress this passing game, when he does
The rate
decide
option's gonna
to,
be better.
well,
the
pull
runs
it
are gonna be
down,
more designed.
not even just the design runs, but when he does decide to pull it down, things will be that much more open for him too.
Yeah, I mean I agree.
That's what I think.
He has the second most total yards of all time, or second most total yards from a quarterback in LSU history.
I think you'll get
Behind
20
Joe
plus
Burrow. No,
20
Joe had
plus
over
touchdown
6,000.
passes, and I think you'll get 3,500 yards passing.
I think you get.
Do you know what
I
he's
think
at this year?
He's at 27 with 20
Before this
20
game, though, right?
No, this is everything in
Oh,
totality.
he had over 3,000 yards this.
No, 2,700 throwing and 818 rushing.
I
That
thought
was
it
before this game.
I think that was before this
I'm
game.
looking at it.
I know they haven't updated before that.
Yeah, I think that was
Second
before the
Purdue
game.
is right here.
Because
I feel like he was neck and neck with Joe.
He had 2,700 before
Yeah.
the bowl game.
I'm pretty sure he was like neck and neck with Joe before the bowl game. Like we talked
Yeah.
about this before.
Yeah.
Like it was literally. So there's no way 139 still has him 100 less. I feel like he was closer than that. Even if he isn't, my point
Yeah,
is,
he's
even
under
if he isn't, my
3,000.
point is. it's
How many
still pretty
passing
close.
touchdowns did he have?
11.
Passing.
No, that's rushing.
Like
I'm sorry.
17?
16.
16.
16 and 3.
You go 20. You throw for 22 passing touchdowns.
Because I think
you
if he
rush-
throws for 20 plus, he'll run for close to
10.
10.
Yeah.
Probably more than 10.
And 26 touchdowns. Barry quarterback Joe obviously is a test case by itself where he had accounted for 60 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's
Joe's
not
not
gonna
a-
happen.
That's
Joe's not a.
I understand what you're doing, but it's impossible.
It's
for
not a
people-
test case. Like we keep saying this too. Like no, we keep saying in the sense that I want people to understand
There's
what
a
that
leap
year
to
was.
be made.
I want people to understand what that year was in 2019, so we can stop comparing and saying, man, I wish we'd have something that looked like Joe. Joe played 15 games that year and he accounted for 60 touchdowns.
That's never happening again.
It never
He
happened.
was a walking 4-touchdown game. Mm-hmm. Find me someone else where you think that's going to happen. It's not a thing. Like that's not. You don't find that year in and year out. There isn't someone doing that. There isn't another one in the country that did that this year.
And you're not going
Like,
to
you're not
gonna
gonna see that every year.
quarterbacks to be able to
Ever.
go through the progression.
So let's not say, oh man, I remember 19, and that is an anomaly, man. Like it is a straight up anomaly. And I said this earlier in our group text. I think when it's all said and done, Joe is going to be part of the trio that we just watched, the next version of it. When you saw Tom, Ben, and Peyton be great for so many years, I think you're about to watch Joe, Patrick, and Josh Allen be great for the next however
It's
many
the
years.
dude that-
Aaron, did you say Aaron?
Well, Aaron was. It's weird. Aaron was kind of like we knew he was great, but he wasn't part of that quote unquote
Yeah,
trio.
because he was.
Go look
younger
at the
than them.
playoff. Go look at the playoff stuff. Like it was literally.
Aaron's 7 years younger than Tom.
It was 3 years, bro. It was.
Crazy.
Wow.
It was for like 10 plus years in a row where it was like one of those three were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So like I'm not discounting Aaron, but I'm just talking about. I think we're about to watch.
Yeah.
That trio literally
Brett been
start doing
stealing.
the same thing.
Huh?
said Brett's been stealing. Still
Oh.
Aaron's time.
Yeah. So, but so we're sitting here saying like, I want 2019. I want to watch, bro. I'm not saying you're never gonna get that again, but that's
Yeah.
not.
I mean, that's very.
Good luck finding that, man.
He
You ain't finding
accounted
that.
for 6,000 yards of total offense. It's never gonna happen.
That's not real.
No.
So don't use him or don't use
As a
Joe
measuring stick.
as the measuring stick.
Can't.
And this is from Tyler Levener, who is in the chat. JD has the second most yards in the season for LSU, and it was still 2,500 less than
Right.
Burrow.
Wait, and then timeout too. We'll say it this way. Let's just go ahead and erase 2019. You would be ecstatic if we had him coming back next year.
If you had 2018,
Because wait, it's the second most yards ever. So would that if Joe never happened, what's that mean? He's number one.
it's the best quarterback ever.
So you would.
at
There's
LSU.
no way you would sit here and say, "Man, I
Really
think we need to
want
change
us
it."
higher, yeah.
Yeah, I really think we need to change it. You wouldn't even be saying that. So like,
We got spoiled.
we gotta go ahead and just thank Joe. Remember it as like, man, that was the unbelievable time in my life. I enjoyed that.
I'm never fucking her again.
that never like enjoy it for what it was. But let's keep pushing forward.
Back to Paris.
Let's go back to what's real, and I think you're going to see a jump next year. My prediction, 3,500 plus. I don't know. Let's go 35 touchdowns.
And this is the same man that said he saw Mason Taylor run one rep, and he goes, "That's your tight end." He's like, "He's about to be a feature in the offense." And I was like, "Jared, we just sat down." And he's like, "Yep."
You can tell.
I don't know shit though.
Yeah.
can tell.
Would you play or something?
No. No.
Tough.
I didn't really play. Ryan never played.
Bro, I never played.
Never played 3 plays in a row. No.
I'm getting a tattoo.
Oh god. We had a good run at Middle Tennessee though. I tell you that.
Yeah, SEC championship game was nice.
Oh god.
It's gonna be an interesting off season.
We got a host tomorrow.
There's gonna be a lot of conversation in the off season, but
We'll do the same show again.
yeah. What do I got tonight?
In that game?
Hey, my push for 1K is back, baby.
Push for
Especially-
2K, coach.
Especially after my over under is gonna hit with the amount of wins. So once that goes into play,
I didn't even think about
once that goes into play, I'm gonna after next weekend,
So is it over? When does that go through?
whenever the NFL season ends.
No, for LSU. Oh, that's
No, that already happened.
Okay, god damn it.
So so here's even better. If the Saints win, I push the other bet. I don't lose the other bet on the over under at 8 wins.
Of just the Saints?
So I just push the Saints win, then I get the over 14.5. So if I get that money in there, I'm gonna be at the 1K mark. Then I'm gonna be at the run for 2K.
Joining me.
Trying to get even.
I'm trying to disclose without disclosing. I'm trying to get even.
Trying to get even, baby. That's a good way to start.
Just get kicked out of the club. I can't even get in.
I mean, I'm gonna be putting some money on some prop bets on the Super Bowl though.
Oh god.
That's for sure. What y'all got tonight though? What do you got
I'm
tonight?
about to do this player prop.
In the
on-
game? I got
Yeah.
Bengals tonight.
I like the Bengals 2.5.
Look at
I took a money line.
That may be partial. I don't care.
I don't
got
think it's
Bengals.
that partial though.
I got Bengals.
They're playing at home.
But the boys are still favored though. Bills are still favored.
2.5. I know, but I mean, I wouldn't even say it's partial. I think that they are.
You
I think
heard
they're.
some of these
I think
props.
they're the hottest team in the league.
The
right
Bengals have a chance to be the number 1 seed still.
I know.
That's what I'm taking.
You want to see these props?
Yep. I want to hear them.
Josh Allen and Joe Burrow each over 274.5 yards. Passing yards on a half. God Lord.
What?
So the combined passing yards and a half, 274.
In any half?
I don't know. That's why I don't like doing these. But the real one, since he's streaking, Jamar Chase, player to score a touchdown, Jamar. Jamar Chase total receiving yards over 83.5. Total receptions over 6.5. Money line, Bengals plus 450.
I'm taking it.
Yeah, I already did it.
I'm taking
Just in case.
Hey, you know what is cool? I'll say this.
it. Tell me what's cool.
And now this is not a I know more type thing. Run into situations where you kind of get lucky and you run into good situations to where you're a part of things that are special, right? But it is really cool. Like I like the show Hard Knocks. It's a good show. Like I like to see what's going on inside.
Are you watching the halftime one?
I stopped watching the in season one. Like that's how lowly I think of what's going on in
How'd
Arizona.
you do that? It's not letting me do it.
But when I watch the preseason Hard Knocks and you watch that team and you're
Aging
like,
in front of my eyes.
Me?
Yes.
The app is not letting me do it. I clicked it, and it says, sorry, none of these selections cannot be combined.
What?
I clicked literally the thing, and that's what it said.
when you watch the preseason version of the Hard Knocks and you're like, man, I don't know if they're a playoff team. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. But I'm buying what Dan Campbell's selling.
No doubt. Hey, they
And
have
I
a
like,
chance.
and they got a chance. My point
They
to it
got
is
flex, baby.
my-
When was the last time a Lions game's gotten flexed?
no, they got literally flexed to Sunday
night.
night, right? So you watch that and you're like, man. And then I probably watched the first 3 episodes of the Cardinals one. I'm just like, yeah, I'm off this team. I don't like what they got going on there.
Yeah.
And I only say that because I was able to be a part of like special teams that did special things. And I think a lot of those characteristics, year in and year out, team, cross country here, there, like you get a lot of the same stuff for teams that do.
Fucked.
For teams that win and do stuff like that. So it's like, it's
So
cool seeing that
apologize to me.
preseason, and we talked about the Lions, and we're like, man, it's the Lions.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to believe they're going to win, but damn, I like what Dan Campbell's talking about, man.
I literally didn't let myself do it, but I wanted to take their future on total wins but I've been swept up in Hard Knocks so many times, and this was the year that I don't let it happen to myself, and it's when I definitely was buying everything that Man Campbell was selling, and I was like, whatever their win total is, I should take it. But I also felt like I'm still scorned by Coach O, who said something about a sex party.
Well, and let me just say this too, like
I saw him at Sonic.
Who?
Coach O.
When?
2 weeks ago.
Why is that why are you bringing that up?
Oh, because he made there's I'll pull it up, but there's some circulating the Twitter sphere about him like going to a sex party.
All right.
Yep.
We didn't give any love to any of the sponsors, but it's okay.
No. Merry Christmas.
I want to pull up. I'm trying to put this in the doc for you because this is my curtain call. I know y'all probably don't have any, huh?
Oh, I do.
Do you?
You know me.
All right. So let's go through the curtain calls. Curtain call is brought to you by Doe's Eat Place. I almost went there the other night, actually. Ended up not because we were able to get into the initial place that we had reservations for.
Oh, man. I can't wait to have reservation money.
What?
Like, to have enough money to go to a place where you get shout out. Speaking of curtain calls, shout out my mom. Happy birthday, December 30th.
There you go.
LeBron James, Tiger Woods, and Lily.
There we go.
I mean, that's
your curtain call?
No, but
Okay.
I mean, yes, obviously, every day. Shout out mom for pushing me through.
There you go. Shout out, Lily.
Shout out Lily.
Okay.
You got a curtain call?
I don't today. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
All right. Jay, you got one? I got one. My link's in there on LSU football. That's my curtain call. What a way. This is how he announced it. I love it. Shout out, curtain call to Mike Jones.
Who?
Who?
Who? It will never get old.
It won't.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, if she doesn't know, you can't have relations with her.
Anyway, he comes out, and Jacques Duce posted this, and it's just an interview, or it's a video of him walking out and talking about how it's his last game at LSU, how he's the old man, he went out the right way. You see it? Is it not working?
No, there's two.
Yeah.
There's two
Click
links
it.
in there.
Click it now.
Oh, Jacques?
Yeah.
No, I got it. Yep. This is the Cheez-It Bowl. Oh, that's not what did. Mikey.
What did I just tell you? It's
They're
under LSU
labeled
football.
for a reason.
Lloyd doesn't listen to anybody.
No, I don't.
Okay. While we wait.
Enjoy the elevator music.
Yeah. Enjoy a nice relaxing your zen. So YouTube TV does. Enjoy your zen. Very zenful though. They have a lot of zen in there.
It's not in here. There's no link.
What do you mean? I'm literally clicking on it right now.
Under the LSU football.
I mean,
Oh, do I need to refresh? I mean, Jesus Christ. Here's my.
if I had a dress, that was exactly the way he's
Are you kidding me?
I mean, he's dead. Oh, he's alive. I fucking love him. That man is either getting a promotion or getting fired.
Oh, I would give him a promotion. So he's not gonna do mine. Okay. Mine is Mike Jones. Shout out to Mike Jones and the way he went out and what he announced. He announced he's not coming back to LSU. That was his last part of his career, and he had a great career. I'm glad he came out here. He came here when we needed him most, did what he needed to do, and never really complained much about it. Was a leader. That was my curtain call.
My other curtain call.
Wish I could see it.
I would do too.
How are you not seeing that?
This is the one that I have. That'd do me fuck all.
What?
Like, that's not what you want, so I didn't want to show
It's
it.
in mine. I don't know how's it not.
I don't
yours?
know, dude.
It's under LSU football.
I'm looking at it. God damn it.
Okay. Well, y'all have a great night. We will be
I know
back.
how the internet works. I'm looking.
We will be back live on
morning.
Wednesday from 6 to 8. I will host Georgie's show tomorrow morning from 7 for 1 hour, 7 to 8. I got to do my day job after that. And looking forward to seeing all y'all on
Thank
Wednesday.
you, Jack.
It's not in there.
Well,
You know, this is actually kind of sentimental if y'all want to have
But you
this
can probably
moment.
find it on Jack's page.
Well, it's
all
too
right.
late.
It's okay. I mean, I already said it, but it
This
isn't.
is Will Rogers after, obviously, Mike Leach passed. And it was, just him 13-10. Fucking gutted it out for you.
Also,
guys.
very bad beat.
Yeah, terrible beat.
That was Illinois was.
That's what Mike Leach was
Mississippi
speaking-
State was favored by 3.5.
Ooh.
They won.
Illinois did the whole pitchback thing.
Ugh.
Fumble recovery to the house. Mississippi State covered.
Yeah, Scott Van Pelt's gonna have to update the bad.
Yeah, that's a
beats
bad one.
graphic.
After that, because there was only 4 seconds left right there.
Yeah, that was after that, and it wasn't like it was like a 10-yard return. It was like a 65-yard return.
Naked.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
tough.
wow.
All right, we'll be back live Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. at our normal time with guests, figuring out how to move on from the football season because LSU football ain't here. So we're going to talk. LSU basketball is a huge game tomorrow night, actually. They're on the road, 7 o'clock on ESPN or
At
ESPN2
Kentucky?
against Kentucky, yes. They came out swinging. First game of the season.
Text Brody for tomorrow morning.
What?
Remind me to text Brody for tomorrow for a guest. Just so I just want to put it out in the ether so I don't forget because you
Okay.
know how I am.
Okay. Well, I will be hosting the Jordy Collada show from
wanna
7 to
come?
8. I will be out after that. I have to go to my work after that. But then we'll have our show from 6 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday. You're watching Mik'd Up. We love y'all. And we'll see you on
Please
Wednesday.
help,
Peace.
Help me,
Peace.
please. What's that song?